Hey guys, Data Orchestration Guru here, and today I'm going to teach you about how to use ChatGPT and AI to create Airflow DAGs for you. So hopping on the AI bandwagon, really because I found this to be a super useful tool if you're lazy like me, but you still want to be able to write DAGs. ChatGPT is really good at writing code, and shockingly is actually really good at writing Airflow code for you. The key is you have to make sure you design your prompt properly. So if you just go, hey, write me an Airflow DAG that does this, it's not going to work well. But if you say, hey, write me an Airflow 2.54 DAG that calls into Looker, pulls some data out, moves it to an S3 bucket, and then stores it in Snowflake, it can generate really powerful and production-ready DAGs. Obviously you're going to have to bring in your own secrets and adjust your variables and everything, but it really is pretty great for removing a lot of that manual work of just like, oh, I got to write this task, code all this, and just typing everything out. When you know what you want to do, you know how the operators work, and so you just want to be able to change them slightly to, use your credentials versus having to write the whole DAG by yourself. So today, I'm going to take you from start to finish, from an idea, using ChatGPT to create a DAG, refining that DAG, and then putting it into Airflow. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to want to do is actually create our prompt. So we'll start here, and I'll do a quick little cut just so you don't have to watch me type it out. And there we have it. So in this request, what we're going to do is ask ChatGPT to write me an Airflow 2.4 DAG, just going a little bit back just for safety. Gets a data set from a public Kaggle API endpoint, stores it in an S3 bucket, and then transfers it to a Snowflake database. So let's fire it off and see what it comes up with. And again, quick cut so you don't have to watch this while I wait for it to generate, because times are slow right now. And boom, we got production ready DAG code. So if we go through this real quick, just to kind of show you what happens. So you can see it brought in all of our libraries and packages, set some default arguments, created it as a DAG, Kaggle S3 Snowflake. You can see it's really creative with its naming. And then here we have a defined download Kaggle dataset. So it's actually writing a Python function to do this, where you see it's going to get this URL, replace that with whatever our dataset usernames are, request it from the API, load it into the Pandas data frame, and then write a dataset from that Pandas data frame into an S3 bucket using the S3 hook. And so then next, it has decided to transfer to Snowflake in one function. So it's actually using a lot of Python in this, which is fine. But you can see there we have the Snowflake operator down here within this defined transfer to dataset, or to Snowflake, sorry, we're transferring the dataset to Snowflake. And then we're downloading Kaggle dataset task, Python operator, and then transfer to Snowflake task with the Python operator again. So you can see here, finally, it's just a two-step DAG. So one thing that this will not do is abide by best practices. So it doesn't really make atomic tasks as well as you might in production. But you can see that it's kind of defined these in a way that makes it really easy, actually, to change this into 3 tasks. And then down here, it even tells us what placeholders we'll need to adjust to actually make it work for our own credentials. So see your username, dataset, S3 bucket, all that good stuff. Hey, you got to go put your values in there to make sure that can actually work. So now that we got our code, let's take it into my local development environment, and let's see if it actually is recognized by the Airflow compiler. So another quick cut. So we actually have a pleasant surprise here. It did compile. So my local development environment is copy and pasted, drop the DAG in here, running on that local Astra CLI life. And so if I go into the DAG, let's actually see the graph. Let's hit run. It's definitely not going to work because I haven't updated my credentials, but let's at least just trigger it just to see that it did in fact compile. Immediate failure. You'll love to see it, but we can see it all worked. So if we go into code, have everything set up, all this is failing on, if we go to the good old log, is a complete and utter lack of valid credentials. Oh yes, IO is not defined. So we haven't defined anything for our credentials, therefore it is not going to function. But you can see that if you were just to input your credentials in here, you have a fully functioning DAG. So typical use case here, hitting API, dropping S3, bringing a Snowflake, but it's really extensible into whatever you need. I've played around with this a lot, and I honestly don't even really write DAGs anymore. I just take the DAGs that ChatGPT generates, and then I do whatever kind of modifications I need to actually have them run, which, as you can see, a lot of times isn't that much. So hope you learned something. I hope you try this out for yourself. Try and develop your own DAGs, and maybe let me know if you run into any issues. You find a really cool use case. I'd love to hear it. So yeah, like and subscribe, the old credo, and I will see you later. Have a good one.